Hey, Grandpa. I just wanted to say hello, and I'm doing homework tonight. A lot of it. I got a big anatomy test tomorrow. Anatomy lab test. I'm studying all night for that. Um, but I thought I'd just make this little video for you, and just want to say how glad I am that I got to be like part of your family, and that you met Grandma, you found Grandma, and you walked into this family. It was a family that had already been broken, and a single woman with three kids. That's really hard, and you accepted this role, and you went into the family, and you took the title of the father figure, and I just want to say that thank you so much for doing that because you helped heal Grandma and grow as a person. You grew three wonderful children, my dad and Uncle Jeff and Uncle Mike, and you really showed them the importance of family and family gathering, and being there for each other for, I mean, all those times that you hosted, different social gatherings at your place, or even came to mine or at Uncle Mike's or Uncle Jeff's, like different things. And um, I just want to say, like, thank you for that, and thank you for all the wonderful memories at the cottages, the pizza things or hobo dinners, whatever they're called. I don't know. The most delicious meals I've ever loved eating those, and the whole quote: "If it's yellow, if it's mellow, or it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down." I know it's kind of sorry, it's kind of dirty, but I'll never forget that just because of how like silly it was, and how like my childhood was revolved around a rhyme of how to use the restroom because of the plumbing there. And thanks for taking us to the movies, because it was really like really cheap up there, like not like in Indy where it's like $10 for a movie, um, but a lot cheaper up there. And thanks for taking us to the movies that we wanted to see, not you or Grandma. And you sat there and you watched them, and buying us popcorn and other snacks, M&Ms and things like that, buying us Pokemon cards and Pokemon games and all that stuff from growing up, uh, and like just thanks for taking me out fishing. I didn't always go out fishing with you, but I remember going out one time and I was so bored out of my mind because I love fishing now, but I didn't really like it too much when I was little. I remember going fishing, and I don't remember who caught it, but someone caught a walleye, and it was like only 20 inches, and the rule had to be like 21 or 22 inches to keep it. And I remember that someone filleted it, and we made it, and it was so good. It was like the tastiest fish I've ever had, and I was like, oh, I remember like. Whenever I see walleye or think of walleye, I always think of that memory, how delicious it was. That caught this fish and we made it like outside, and it was absolutely delicious. And so thanks for turning me on to walleye. And oops, sorry, text message. Um, and thanks for having such a great sense of humor. You always had really clever, witty jokes to as comebacks for different things, and whether they were funny or not, we laughed no matter what, just because it was you and you were telling these jokes and things. And speaking of which, I remember one time going swimming in the neighborhood pool, and it was like raining. It was like kind of raining, but not really. It was like sprinkling, but a little bit more than that. And we were going. It was like the Warfuls, and I think it was our family, and maybe somebody else. I'm not sure. And we went over there. We all had towels. We all put our towels under our shirts so they wouldn't get wet. And then someone was like, so then you were like, "Oh, I got mine," and like like patting your stomach, and I was laughing so hard at that. And you were like, we were going, and you were going like, right when you were leaving to go swimming. You were like, "Now don't get wet," because it was like raining, but we were going in the pool. So it was like just like little clever, like just not even really meaningful jokes that were just that last with me. Like I was like one of my favorite memories, just that I could do, or that I could. You just made such silly jokes all the time, and I just want to thank you for being so generous to myself and to my family and the rest of us. Um, and the fact that we don't have the same last name, like but you still treated us as if we were your children. You would never, I'd never doubt that in a second, never doubt it in a second that you weren't part of my family because I love you so much, and you raised me to be how you helped raise me and help raise my dad to be such strong characters and very respectful of women, and always trying our hardest and putting others first. So just thank you for being generous, and not just on family thing, but even like monetary as well. Like you've given us such lavish, awesome like gifts and clothes, and like I have my whole like, everything. It's just so nice that you guys are just so generous, and you're not that old. You and grandma aren't that old mean couple that doesn't, it's kind of just like tiger shoes, and like you're just so very easygoing, and thank you for all the times where we've had Christmas or Thanksgiving or pinning Easter eggs at your house. Thanks for hosting all those times because it was an awful blast. I remember painting eggs, and I loved doing that. And one time having Christmas up there, and my dad or my mom and dad got Neil and I or our family a Nintendo 64, and that was like the coolest thing ever. And in fact, I was playing it earlier today with my roommates, and one of the games that we had gotten, and I remember fight going in the basement with Neil and finding the TV on and the game on in the middle of like a race. Like one of the games that they bought was like in the middle of the race. I remember Neil and I playing it for hours on end, just great bonding. And we always had been the same team though, because I hated playing against him because I'd always get mad because he'd beat me. But I remember just playing the game forever. And I remember like when I got older, I was like, wow, I realized, but then I was like, Santa was playing this game. I was like, Santa was playing like Mario Kart. It was so cool. And when I got older, I realized Dad was playing it, and Dad was having fun playing it too. And I remember playing in the basement, and that was just so much fun. And you putting up with Grandma getting all those Beanie Babies and Bitty Babies, and sharing them with all of us. And thanks for playing with us and doing puzzles, because you guys like puzzles, all right. And I remember doing that, and I just would get so frustrated because I wasn't very good, and I didn't have that much patience as a child. And I remember doing the border first. I remember you guys teaching me that always do the border first, and then do the big obvious spots, and then fill in the rest. The sky comes last because the hardest part. Um, but like, I mean, thank you for all those things, and going fishing under the bridge in the park there, and I caught a carp one time, and it was like orange. And I was like, "What is this?" I was like, "This is so weird." And, like that was awful fun. I remember finding and watching like uh, Dad's video that he made for Uncle Mike for that movie class that he had video, and like Josie, I think it was Josie, had the with the rag with like bacon in it, so she was like smelling it, and like jump out from behind the tree. He was like wearing a different colored pants instead of like black, it was like white or something like that. And I remember watching that in your living room, and I just like, dying laughing how funny it was, like the technology then, like the hilarity of the video, and it's just so much fun. And so I just want to say thanks for all those times that you hosted my family, like myself, like all of us. And I just want to say thanks for making my childhood, you know, the best that it could possibly be. No one could ask for a better childhood, and even being past teenager, being in my 20s now. It's just I'm now seeing life, and it's much different because that was like this summer was a bit rough on me because I couldn't see my friends, and it was just kind of hard hours. But I'm so thankful I got to spend all that time with you guys. And the best part of it was seeing how much love you have for not only your family, but for grandma. Every day there was, morning kiss, good morning, kiss. Middle of the day, oh, I love you, for just no reason, just I love you. And, every time you'd go, before you guys went to bed, it was a good night kiss. And always like, I love you, Janie. And I just really just made my heart melt every single time because like you clearly do love her, and you love the rest of our family. And I just want to say I'm so happy that I got to be part of your family, and I love you so much, Grandpa. And I'm sorry I couldn't be up there this past weekend. I had a test at night, and I had a test tomorrow, so I couldn't come up there. But I just want to say I love you very much, and I hope to see you soon. And you're a huge inspiration, and I love you very much. And thank you for the best child that anyone could ever ask for. Love you, Grandpa.